Hi! If the scenery behind me seems familiar, it means that you probably watched the critically acclaimed Chernobyl series from HBO. This is Troyeshina, the cultural center of the capital of Ukraine, where the filming took place. Is there any connection to Google Pixel 3a XL? Well, no. So let's talk about it instead. This is the first Pixel I've ever tested. And in some places my impressions are extremely positive, and in some extremely negative. Let's start with the bad. 3a XL looks like some cheap Chinese phone with a difficult to pronounce name. Yeah, plastic is good, but in $500 smartphone there should be no plastic. By definition, metal or glass or some kind of leather and bamboo. Yes, but certainly not plastic. Bezels around the screen. It feels like we're back in 2015 or 2016, certainly not 19. An audio jack is here, which is good, but for some unknown reason it is located at the top. Here we go, time traveling again. The location of the speakers. Yeah, stereo sound. Yeah, the sound is powerful, but one of the speakers is directed at you, and the second to the side. This is frankly stupid. There are no other words to describe it. If we look at it from a different angle, it turns out that everything is not as bad as it seemed at the first glance. Plastic can be easily concealed by a phone case, but the color is pretty glossy white, matte light gray, and orange on the button. Neat. Although the phone case will cancel out these scenes too. The sound is still okay if you play games or watch TV shows, so this moment is more psychological than real. Bezels. Well, everything is really bad here. It is extremely difficult to find any positives. Inside we have Qualcomm Snapdragon 617, 8 cores, 4 GB of RAM and 615 Adreno. Not top-end hardware by any means, but a strong mid-ranger. But PlayerUnknown's Battleground easily runs out minimal settings. Asphalt 2 works fine. There were also no problems with the system, but it all means what? That the performance of the smartphone is good, and for the declared 3 years of support, it is future-proof at least. 64 GB of storage. Micro SD cards are not supported, but at least Google offers its users unlimited storage in the cloud. The screen is covered with a protective Asahi Dragon Trail glass with a pleasant tactile oleophobic coating. The diagonal is 6 inches. The resolution is 2160 to 1080. Pixel density is 402 dots per inch. OLED matrix. If you discard the dry numbers, the display is good. The viewing angles, the brightness and the details will be enough even for VR. Needless to say, any sensible person now has a question. Why is it so pricey? If the design and materials are so-so, the hardware is average and the screen is just good. What is there? The answer is simple. The camera. Incredibly cool cameras, to be exact. The main one is 12 and 2 megapixels, aperture 1 and 8, 28mm. It makes fantastic pictures during day and night, and the night mode is just amazing. We're talking mirrorless cameras level when the camera sees something that sometimes we do not see with our eyes. The portrait mode, where it gently blurs the background, without making the picture a blur mess, and the contours are cut off very sensibly with both the backlight and lowlight. If you leave the smart mode alone and run the so-called accelerated shooting, you can get quite serious time lapses. Video 4K at 30 FPS or Full HD at 120. There is optical stabilization. Selfie camera 8 megapixels, aperture 2, 24mm. Selfies are so good you can hang them on the wall, even if their contents, as in many particular case. leave much to be desired. It shoots video in Full HD at 30 frames per second. Generally speaking, the selfie camera does its job admirably. Summarizing, we can say that the cameras are top-notch. And if you need a camera phone and the rest is secondary, then you can't find a better device. 3A HL will be perfect for you. 3A XL will be perfect for you. With battery everything is not bad, but not particularly great either. The 3700 mAh battery lasts for a day of use according to my scenario. And this is about an hour of games, half an hour of video and hour of books, half of an hour of news, half an hour of social networks and calls and messages. I got 3A XL with the third beta of the Pure Tense Android. It's beautiful, functional, convenient, as well as quick, smooth and stable, not a single hitch. Plus there's the dock version. There's also the multifunction button below. Switching between applications if you swipe left-right, home if you push it, and the application menu if you pull up. Reminds you of something? Yes. Yes, my dear Apple lover, this is especially for you if you suddenly decide to try something else. This system allows you the transition to be as comfortable and painless as possible. For the nostalgic users, there are 3 Android buttons. Pixel 3a XL is a smartphone of extremes and absolutes. Extremely poor design, but at the same time, absolutely stunning cameras. Many other manufacturers are looking for some kind of balance between all the parameters of the smartphone, but Google thinks simpler. They have almost perfect cameras, but the rest… well, you don't pay for the rest. As it turned out, it works. Not for me, as I'm not a photographer, but for the target audience, it works, and it makes no sense denying it. And on this ambiguous note, I remind you that you can read more about Pixel 3a XL in the text review linked in the description below. And I say goodbye to you, but only until we meet again. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.